Welcome to School Report, a glimpse into the classrooms of St. Lucie County Public Schools. School Report provides the opportunity to share with the community academic and extracurricular activities of students in our schools. And now, here is School Report.
Here at Weatherbee Elementary, we are a Kids at Hope school. Every morning, the children say the Kids at Hope pledge. However, we've noticed that some students are not really thinking about their future. We hope that all children will look forward to a future of college, family, career, and be a productive part of their community. The Peer Leadership Program for Boys' mission is to train the boys on how to achieve academic success, positive behavior, self-esteem, and communication skills through character education. Many of our young men do not have positive role models at home or even in the school or the community. So by bringing in a guest speaker as a role model, the boys will be able to get rid of negative thoughts and actions. So today, our guest speaker is Dr. Perry, our own Assistant Superintendent. He is here to speak to our young men, to share his jewels, and to pass on knowledge that I know they will be receptive to receive. And Mr. Perry, if you can come up at this time, Dr. Perry, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Good afternoon, young men. I am excited to be here. Why am I excited to be here? Well, because as an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the skills, talents, and intelligences that exist in all children and youth. I believe all students are capable of success. Help me say it. No exceptions. So it gives me great joy to come and just share a little bit with you about my journey, my tenure, my road to what I like to think has been a little bit of success that I hope will lead to greater successes. I am a native of Brunswick, Georgia. Georgia borders the state of Florida going north. I am the last of 4 children. I'm matriculated in the Glenn County school systems, and I graduated from the great Brunswick High School, home of the Pirates, where I was drum major of the band. I started in band and when I was in 6th grade, and I've been a musician ever since. From there, I graduated from that high school and decided that I actually wanted to go to the Air Force. But my parents had 4 children, as I told you earlier, and I'm the last of those 4. My brother, who's the oldest child, went to college in Atlanta, Georgia at Morris Brown. My sister, who's the next oldest, went to Fort Valley State College in Fort Valley, Georgia. And my sister that's right above me went to Knoxville College in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I thought that I would be grown and I would break the mold and not go to college. I wanted to join the Air Force. The Air Force has this wonderful group called the Airmen of Note. It is like a jazz band. I was going to audition for the jazz band. I told myself that I was just that good that I was going to make the band. And then you know what else I was going to do? I was going to travel and see the world in the Air Force playing my horn. Well, my mama came to me one day and she said, Kevin, Henry has a degree, Leela has a degree, Margaret will be a senior next year, so let me tell you what you're going to do. Say it again. I'm going to college and I was going to get a degree. So lo and behold, I decided that I would travel. I wanted to break the mold and leave Georgia. And I decided that I wanted to come to Florida to go to school at Bethune-Cookman College, now Bethune-Cookman University, that's located in Daytona Beach, Florida. Because I had to go to school, I decided that I did really well in high school, and because I was in college, I figured that I would put forth the best effort that I possibly could and do the best that I possibly could. Keep in mind, I told you that I was the 4th child, right? And my parents had already sent 3 kids to school. Well, I auditioned for band, and I got a scholarship. At that time, it only cost $5,000 a year to go to Bethune-Cookman College. Band gave me $1,000. So my parents had to pay the other $4,000. But I took 18 hours my very first semester there, became a member of the band, and I studied, and I studied, and I studied. And then I did what? Studied some more. And I made really good grades, and I figured out that because I had done really well with my grades, they gave me a probationary scholarship for my grades for academic. So not only did I have that money for band, I had money because I had good grades that my parents did not have to pay. Well, studied and studied and studied, and 4 years later, I graduated, right? I had an opportunity to go to college again to get another degree. I could go to the University of Illinois with the Fighting Illini, or I could go to Ohio State University with the Buckeyes. They both said, we will give you money. We will give you money. Come here, come here. I chose to go to the University of Illinois in Champaign, and then I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, where I started teaching school at Little Rock Hall High School, and I was the band director and orchestra director at Little Rock Hall High School, because while at Bethune-Cookman and the University of Illinois, I majored in music education. After teaching school there for 4 years, my parents were retiring, so I decided that I would come closer to them, because in Little Rock, I was about, 18 hours away driving. Now I drive home in about 4 hours to my parents. So I came here, and I have been in St. Lucie County working for the last 27 years. When I first moved here, I was the band director at Westwood High School. I went on to be the band director at Westwood High School and Forest Grove. And then during that same time, I was the band and chorus director at Westwood High School, became the teacher of the year, and started recruiting teachers to come work with our wonderful students like each of you here in St. Lucie County. From there, I became the principal of Fort Pierce Magnet School of the Arts, that beautiful yellow brick building that sits on Delaware. Beautiful building. And then from there, I went to work at the superintendent's office as the assistant superintendent. But how did all of that happen? Yes, sir. What do you think?
Your mom told you to go to college to study a lot.
That's the root of it. It all started when my mom said what? Go to college and do what?
Study hard to get your grades up.
Study hard to get my grades up. So, first of all, I did what my mama told me to do. I followed her lead. And I studied really, really, really hard so that it would prepare me to be able to do some things now. There's an old adage that talks about, I'm going to do some stuff right now that I may not want to do, so that when I get older, I'll be able to do those things that I want to do. Do these things that I have to do right now, that somebody's making me do right now, like do what? Like come to school every day, like tuck my shirt in. You see I got my shirt tucked in. I go to work every day with my shirt tucked in. Mr. Hitzman comes with his shirt tucked in every day. So guess what? We're not asking you to do anything that we're not doing. But guess what? We also know when you leave this school and you go to your next school, and then you get out into the real world and you're working really hard, right? There are going to be rules and regulations on that job that you're going to have to follow. They're going to tell you what time you got to be to work, how much production you're going to have to give each and every day. Sometimes they're even going to put you in a uniform and tell you that it has to be tucked in and all those other kinds of things. So what I want you to do here in school is think of school as a learning zone for what's to come in your future. Think of school as a learning zone, because those things that you practice here are the things that's going to be necessary and important for you once you get out into what we'll say is the real world. So while you're in school, if you have a B in a class, if you study a little more, you might be able to make an A. Why? Because you worked harder. You make wise choices. What do I mean by making wise choices? Somebody want to help me? Well, tell me what do I mean by making wise choices? Speak up for me so we can hear you, so my microphone can hear you.
If you like to do something on your own.
Make wise choices, doing something on your own. You want to help me out too? Is that okay?
Yeah, by
when you make wise choices.
Yeah,
You need some help? Okay, I'll get you some help. I'll get you some help. Wise choices.
Do good.
Doing good. When you make wise choices, that means if there's something that has to happen, okay, you can choose to do good or do bad. But when you choose to do good, you're making a what? Wise choice. And that's what we have to do every day. We have to make wise choices. Wise choices said, Mr. Hitzman say that my shirt must be tucked in. So guess what? Every day that I come to school, he'll never have to tell me to tuck my shirt in. Why? Because I'm making a wise choice and I'm following the rules. You know, I'm in class and the teacher says, does anybody have a question? Raise your hand. I raise my hand if I have a question because I'm following the rules. That's also making a wise choice. But what else does that help you to do? It helps you to do better in school because when you ask that question about the work, you understand it better. And in understanding it better, that helps you do better when you're getting ready to take the test. Now, there's another thing that we do every day. I bet you Mr. Hitzman has a whole bunch of days that he could take off. But does he? Very rarely is he not in school. He's always here. So we want you to stay in school too. That means be where you're supposed to be. So we're talking about making wise choices, staying in school, and doing our best. You know, let me be real with you now, because in this old world, there are going to be some people that look at you and say, I don't know about that. You should just go on and give up. There are going to be some hard knocks that come at you and some things that's just going to knock you flat on your back. But when you're laying there flat on your back, you say, if I can look up, I can see up. And if I can see up, I can get up. And then when I get up, I'll go forth and do better. No matter what happens to you, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debt is high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Say it with me. Don't you quit. That means don't you ever give up. Don't you ever give up. Why? Because you can do it. I promise you can. Now, there's one other thing that I want to tell you, because in this life, you're going to run into one of your friends. He's going to say, you can't do that. Don't you believe him? Okay? You're going to run over here and somebody's, oh, man, you can't do it. Don't believe him. Because somebody said it couldn't be done. But you, with a chuckle, replied, maybe it couldn't, but I would be one who wouldn't say so until I tried. So I buckled right in with a trace of a grin on my face. If I worried, I hit it. I start to sing as I tackle the thing that can't be done, and you know, you'll do it. When we talk about all of these things, when we talk about making wise choices, when we talk about coming to school, when we're talking about not letting anyone tell us that we can't do it, when we talk about not quitting, forging ahead, there's a person that comes to my mind because I like football, because I like basketball. You know, who likes basketball? Okay, tell me, who is your favorite basketball player?
James Harden.
James Harden, okay. You?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan's all right. He's all right. Well, who's yours?
Miami Heat.
No, you like the whole team, the Miami Heat. Can I get one more? One more. Who's your favorite player?
Stephen Curry.
Oh, MVP Curry. Okay, all right. I understand. Well, there is one player, Michael Jordan, that we call his airness. So let's take a look at Michael, and we're going to relate Michael to each of you, okay? He's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Who is this Michael Jordan? Who is he? Well, his name is Michael Jordan. In high school, he was known as Mike Jordan. He wasn't your Ernest like we know him to be. Okay? He was born on the 17th of February 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. He went to high school at Laney High School in North Carolina. Now, even though he was born in New York, his family moved to North Carolina. He was drafted by the Bulls in 1984. He attended college at North Carolina, the Tar Heels. He was a 6-time NBA champion, MVP 5 times. He was on 2 Olympic teams, earned 2 medals, and we called him Air Jordan. Now, I want to show you a series of pictures. And in your mind, I want you to just think about what it is that you see when you see these pictures. And I'm going to ask the adults to kind of help me pass out some stuff, okay? Everyone is going to need a pencil. But as I show you these pictures and as we're passing those out, I want you to just think in your mind, what it is that you see when you see these pictures. To yourself, what do you see? Just think. Just think. Just think. What is it that you see? Just think. Just think. Let's look again. Let's look again. What is it? What is it that you see? Just think to yourself. Just think to yourself. What is it that you see? What is it that you see? What is it that you see? Well, now, this is what I want you to do. W's up. Okay. You should have a sheet of paper, and I want it on the side that has the lines that says characteristics. Okay? Everyone should have a pencil. W's down. If you don't have a piece of paper or a pencil, raise your hand for me. Raise your hand for me. Ms. Avelino, I have a couple of more right here. Ms. Avelino. That's you. Okay? All right. Now, here's the good part. I want to tell you a story about Michael Jordan. And anytime you hear something that may describe how Michael Jordan worked hard, how he believed in himself, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, it could be a short phrase. I want you to write that down on your paper, okay? Anytime you hear something that shows you how he didn't give up, how he didn't let anybody knock him down, a word, a phrase, I want you to write that down on your paper, okay? Here we go. Here we go. You ready? It's the story of legends. Imagine, legs up, wrist back, tongue out, 17-foot jumper, 15 seconds left. People still remember that shot today. But how did it all start? There was a roster decision that happened some 30 plus years ago at Laney High School in North Carolina. It's the story of Michael Jordan. Now, most people think that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. But is that really the story? Some of us think, well, maybe it's just a play on words, okay? The fact is, Laney High School held combined tryouts. By combined tryouts, that means they had a junior varsity team and a varsity team, and everybody tried out at one time. Usually in high school, 9th and 10th graders played junior varsity. 11th and 12th graders played varsity. Well, Michael, in his 10th grade year, doing these combined tryouts, wanted to play varsity. He didn't make varsity, but he made junior varsity, and he went on to be a junior varsity superstar. He went on to be a junior varsity superstar. At the time of tryouts, Michael Jordan was 5'10", not the 6'6" Michael Jordan that we know today. He was just another sophomore guard. One of the coaches didn't even know who he was. Now, there is no doubt that Michael Jordan could handle the ball, but he developed those skills while he was on the JV team. What was it? It was his work ethic. It was his work ethic and his commitment to excellence, and his work ethic that started in high school that turned into this superstar Michael Jordan that we knew at North Carolina and at the Bulls. Now, if Jordan distinguishes himself in any way, it is his supreme effort. His supreme effort. Why? Because Michael would be the first to the line for conditioning drills, and he ran them as hard as anyone else, and then when they were over, he wanted to run them again. So we talked about him having a strong work ethic. He had a commitment to excellence. He had supreme effort. Nobody tried harder than Michael Jordan. Later on, Michael Jordan went on to say, I think that not making the varsity team during my 10th grade year drove me to work at my game and also taught me to set goals. Set goals. He set goals. In essence, when he set goals, he made a plan to accomplish something. He set goals and he worked hard. He worked hard. That means he put forth that effort. He worked hard to achieve them. So that following summer, the summer between his 10th grade year and his 11th grade year, he trained rigorously. What does that mean? He studied the game and he worked to get better at the game. He trained hard. He trained really hard. And then we know that he earned the spot on the varsity team. By acclamation, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. He played baseball too, okay? But a summary of his basketball career and his influence on the game. Influence on the game means that he had an effect how others viewed the game, how others played the game. Influence of the game was combined with his grace, his speed, his skill, and his unquenchable competitive drive. Along the way, Michael Jordan, this Mike Jordan of high school, became a true champion. He became a true champion. That means he was a winner off the court and on the court, just like you can be a winner in your class and out of your class. He was a true champion. He was an accessible star who managed to maintain an air of mystique. Jordan's greatness. Basically, he was good at what he does. Plays basketball. And his likability, that means people what? People liked him. People liked him. Made him into the Michael Jordan that we all know today that makes us all want to what? Be like Mike. Be like Mike. So when we think about this Michael Jordan, we can think about some characteristics of this Michael Jordan. One of the things that we talked about was the characteristics that you might have written down on your paper is that he had that supreme effort. That means he worked really hard, right? He worked hard. He trained rigorously. That means he learned about the game. And he worked at the game so that he could get better. He played by the rules. Remember we talked about the rules say that I tuck my shirt in, so what? I tuck my shirt in. The rules say that I'm on time. So if Michael Jordan works hard, if Michael Jordan plays by the rules, guess what we all should do? Work hard and play by the rules too. He was prepared. Michael was prepared. When he goes to that basketball court, gets ready for that game, he's already practiced his jump shot, he's already practiced his layups, he's already practiced dribbling, he's already practiced passing. He was prepared to make the game work so that they would win the game. Oh, Michael always had a positive attitude. Remember we talked about he had likability? People liked him. That means people wanted to be around him. Why? Because he had a positive attitude. He just made people want to come to him because he was a likable person. But it was because of his attitude. And his attitude, which allowed him to work hard, allowed people to come to him, but it also allowed him to gain greatness. Gain greatness. They say Michael had such a positive attitude that even the referees liked being around Michael. Michael was driven. If Michael saw something, he was driven. He went after it. He went after it. He worked really hard to get it. He didn't stop until it, and guess what you should do in school? Work hard. You should be driven to get it too. And then Michael was committed to excellence. And if Michael was committed to excellence, what that means is Michael didn't settle for the B when he knew there was an A inside of him. What did he do? He worked hard. He trained. He followed by the rules so that he can reach this level of excellence. And that's the same thing that I think each of us should do. So when we look at the characteristics of Michael Jordan, we said he had supreme effort. We should put forth that same kind of effort in everything that we do when we come to school each day. Michael worked hard. He didn't just, oh man, that'll be okay. No, he went after it. He went after it. He worked hard to achieve. He trained rigorously. When he had to study that math problem, he just didn't do one. He did 5, or 6, or 7, or 8. When he had to conjugate that verb, you know, when he had to make sure that paper had 5 paragraphs with at least 3 sentences, had a perfect starter, had a perfect closer, guess what Michael did? That's how he worked hard. That's how he trained. He played by the rules. You know, Michael played basketball, but we all know that Michael also liked baseball. Michael didn't bring the rules of baseball on the basketball court. Michael didn't take the rules of basketball to the baseball diamond. He played by the rules. If coach said, I need you dressed and on the court by 10 o'clock, where was Michael? Dressed and on the court. So if Mr. Hitzman says, I need you here every day in your class, guess what? He needs you every day. And if Michael is playing by the rules, he's a great example for all of us to play by the rules. We already talked about a positive attitude. Positive attitude, he was likable. People want to be around you when you're positive. They don't want to be around you when you're already trying to bring them down. Remember, we said don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Keep a positive attitude. Keep a positive attitude. And then you got to be committed to excellence. Whatever's good, whatever's right, you're pushing to get to that best thing. So when we look at the characteristics of Michael Jordan, we can relate those characteristics to us and how we should pursue the things that we want to achieve, those goals and those dreams that we have, even just doing good and doing right in school. So let's do one more activity, okay? W's up. This is what I need you to do. I need you to flip that piece of paper over. And this is what we're going to do. You have a Foursquare. Who's ever played Foursquare before? We're going to do an academic Foursquare. We're going to do Foursquare. In that Foursquare, you have academic success, which is what Michael had. That's how he got to school, how he got to college. The Foursquare has a positive behavior. It has self-esteem. It also has communication skills. So there are adults in the room, and we're going to give you an opportunity at your table group. Listen to me. W's up again for me. All eyes on me. To quietly at your table work on your Foursquare. The adults will come around and we will give you hints if you need to about what could go in your Foursquare. For instance, on academic success, One of the things that can go in our Foursquare is what? Do our homework. Another thing that can go in our Foursquare for academic success is study, or as Michael Jordan said, prepare for our test. Okay? And I want everybody to have at least 2 things in your Foursquare for each of those activities, okay? You can quietly work at your table and work together as a group, in your group, one person talk at a time to fill in your Foursquare. But guess what? Dr. Perry just gave you 2 things in your academic side, so you can go to the others in your Foursquare, okay? And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do this, and then we'll debrief together, okay? Quietly. Let's play Foursquare. Foursquare. Seconds. This was so much fun. As I walked around the table, we played, okay, hands down, eyes on move. We played academic Foursquare, and we took the characteristics from Michael Jordan, and we made them apply to us. We talked about in the academic side that we could do what? We could study, and we can come to class prepared. Now, I put self-esteem down there so that we could have a conversation with you about self-esteem. But because you are a kid at Hope, you really do know what self-esteem is, because I heard some people, Max, tell me what self-esteem, what did you say about self-esteem? Hold on, Max, I got to get the microphone, I'm sorry. Tell us what self-esteem is that you wrote, Max. Confident and capable of success. You know, I tell myself, that's what self-esteem is, the self. I tell myself that I'm capable of success. I tell myself that I'm confident in my area, in myself. What do you want to tell us?
Be talented.
That I'm talented. Okay? So that's the self-esteem. Let's move on to the positive behavior. Positive behavior. You want to give me an answer?
Follow rules.
Follow the rules. Follow the rules. Let me take another one.
Self-control.
Self-control. I told you how smart you guys are. Okay, positive behavior. Follow the rules, self-control. Let me move to this table. Let me get one from this side. Let me get one from this side. What did you say? For positive behavior.
Follow and obey rules.
Follow and obey rules. One last one.
To pay attention.
To pay attention. Good. So we did self-esteem, we did the academic square, and we also did the behavior square. So what does that leave in our Foursquare? Communication. Communications. Let's move to communication, to the communication square, okay? And if Michael Jordan had to do it and he reached the level of excellence, guess what? We have to do the same thing. I don't think I've gotten anyone lately from this table. We're talking about the communication square, okay? Give me one.
Talk nice to somebody.
Talk nice to somebody. Remember we said Michael Jordan was likable. Likable. He was likable. That means people liked him. They wanted to be around him. Remember we said that Michael Jordan has a positive attitude. Positive attitude. Okay. I just don't know where to go. You guys are awesome. Come on.
Respect others.
Respect others. So that means when we're talking to them, we talk to them nicely. We respect them. I got to come back. Oh, I haven't been over here. I haven't been over here. Give me one, please.
Calm down, do your work, and talk about it.
Calm down, do your work, and then talk about whatever has to happen. Communication skills. Academic foursquare. So, communications, your academic side. We talked about behavior, and we talked about self-esteem. And the thing about it is, we know Michael Jordan. And we know the level of talent that he exhibits, and we know the level of success that he's achieved. And he achieved that level of success by following basically everything that we talked about in this academic foursquare. Academic success, his behavior, his communication skills, and his self-esteem. And guess what? If you behave just like Michael Jordan every day in school, you'll see that people will like you, you'll have good grades, people will want to come, people will want to share, and people will be as excited to come and share with you just as I am today. I have thoroughly had a really good time of sharing my life story with you. Also, of us talking about the characteristics that not only you, but I must exhibit every day that are just like Michael Jordan. Because we all know that Michael Jordan has been labeled as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And those are the characteristics that led to him achieving that, which are those things that fit right into our academic foursquare. I'm going to tell you thank you for playing academic foursquare with me today. And my only wish and my challenge to you is that you will put your name on top of this paper and that you will keep that academic foursquare in one of your folders. And anytime that you have a question about how you should communicate, you'll look at your academic foursquare. Anytime that you have a question about having strong academics, you'll look at your academic foursquare. And anytime you're feeling down, or somebody's trying to tell you, man, you can't do that. Oh, you can't achieve, you can't. You remember on that self-esteem side that you're talented, that you're confident, that you're competent, and that you are capable of success. Say it with me. No exceptions. Thank you, and I enjoyed my time with you today.
Well, again, we just want to start off by, again, give this gentleman one more big round of applause, my young people. I do have to say I've worked with Dr. Perry for many years, and I know it's been a real privilege for me, so I was excited to hear him talk, because I really never had an opportunity to hear about his history as well. And I know he worked extremely hard, and he works extremely hard in the district each and every day, and that's why we're so fortunate to have him here. So again, Dr. Perry, thank you so much for coming out and talking to our young men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We know you believe in the Kids at Hope attitude, and we know that all our students believe in the Kids at Hope attitude. And because we always talk about we're going to graduate from elementary, then middle school, then high school, and then what, everyone?
College.
College. Because we have high expectations for you here at Weatherbee, and I know that the district has high expectations for you, and I know you know that these teachers and teachers in this classroom have high expectations for you. So, Dr. Perry, I know that these ladies want to do a presentation to you as always. We want to recognize those wonderful people that come out and talk to us and share their expertise with our children. So, on behalf of our staff and our wonderful peer leadership people here, we want to present you with this plaque.
Thank you.
This is Weatherbee Elementary. We appreciate you. And an ink pen that you can use throughout the day.
Thank you. They walk off my desk. So I always need those.
So once again, one more big round of applause for our outstanding guests. Thank you all for being here again.
Thank you. Thank you.